Society feeds you a comforting lie that leaders are made, not born. They tell you that if you just hustle hard enough, you can force your way to the throne. This is false. Your capacity for dominance was decided before you ever spoke your first word. While you were sleeping in your crib, the environment was already hardwiring your brain. It is a biological mechanism called photoperiodic imprinting. The exact amount of sunlight your eyes receive during your first 90 days of life permanently set the baseline for your dopamine and serotonin receptors. This is the invisible variable. This is why you feel a sickening need for attention while your friend prefers the shadows. This is why some men are paralyzed by risk, while others are addicted to the chaos of it. You are operating on a biological script, written by the season of your birth. You are not choosing your ambition. You are obeying a chemical command. Until you understand this specific imprint, you are not the driver of your life. You are merely the passenger. In this video, we are not reading horoscopes. We are reading your nervous system. We have categorized humanity into 4 biological command archetypes. By the end of this analysis, you will not only know which one you are, but you will also understand why you have failed to attain power in the past, and exactly how to seize it now, using the strengths of your birth season. Now, a warning. The weak find comfort in ignorance. They prefer to believe their failures are just bad luck. If you are looking for comfort, click away now. But if you are part of the rare 1% who demands total control over their own psychology, if you are ready to weaponize your biology instead of being a slave to it, then prove it. Smash the subscribe button right now. Join the supreme mindset. Let us dismantle the code of remind. Before we hand you your label, we must first respect the machine that runs your life. Most people walk through this world thinking their personality is a random collection of habits. They are wrong. You are not a random event. You are a biological equation. If you have ever felt a hunger for power that you cannot explain, or a need for isolation that confuses your friends, do not suppress it. Understand it. The science here is absolute. When you were an infant, the specific duration of daylight you were exposed to acted as a sculptor for your neurochemistry. It calibrated the density of your dopamine receptors, the chemical of more, and your serotonin levels, the chemical of enough. This is why 2 men can look at the same throne. One sees a burden, and the other sees a birthright. It is not a matter of ego. It is a matter of neural architecture. You are watching this video because you are part of the rare minority that refuses to operate on autopilot. The average mind is terrified of its own dark side. The supreme mind studies it. By understanding the season of your birth, you stop fighting your nature and start weaponizing it. You stop wondering why you act this way, and you start controlling how you win. Now, look at the calendar. The code is about to be broken. Let us begin with the men born in the fire of the sun. We begin with the quadrant of maximum exposure. If you were born in the months of June, July, or August, you belong to the biological archetype of the solar king. Biologically, your first breath was taken during the peak of the solar cycle. Your developing brain was flooded with the highest annual levels of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of drive and reward. This is not just a chemical variance. It is a command. It is the reason you feel a restless, burning energy that most people around you simply cannot understand. History confirms this pattern with frightening accuracy. Julius Caesar, born in July, did not just want to rule Rome. He wanted to be Rome. Napoleon Bonaparte, born in August, conquered Europe not because he had to, but because his nature could not sit still. In the modern era, look at Elon Musk, born in June. These are not men who play it safe. These are men who thrive in chaos, who take risks that would paralyze a normal person, and who possess a magnetic charisma that forces the world to look at them. The Solar King is the archetype of the conqueror. If this is you, let's look at your real life. You likely struggle with the concept of moderation. In meetings, you are the one who speaks first, not always because you have the best plan, but because you physically detest silence. In relationships, you are intense and overwhelming. You are attracted to power because, to you, power equals validation. You do not want to be a cog in the machine. You want to be the face on the billboard. But here is the danger, and this is where the supreme mind must intervene. The Solar King burns bright, but he burns fast. Your biological flaw is narcissism. You are so obsessed with the image of victory that you often neglect the logistics of the war. You are prone to impulsive decisions because your brain craves the dopamine rush of the new. You are the wartime general who is brilliant in battle but terrible at peace. If you do not learn to temper your ego with discipline, you will build an empire only to burn it down yourself. Now we invert the world. We strip away the light. If you were born in the freezing months of December, January, or February, you belong to the archetype of the shadow strategist. You are the biological opposite of the summer king. Born into the scarcity of light, your nervous system did not wire itself for risk. It wired itself for survival, conservation, and absolute efficiency. If the summer king is the lion, roaring in the open field, you are the wolf watching from the tree line. You are not attracted to the spotlight of power. In fact, excessive public praise likely makes you suspicious. You are attracted to power for one specific reason: control. History paints this picture in cold, hard strokes. Look at Jeff Bezos, born January 12th. He did not build Amazon by being the loudest person in the room. He built it by being the most calculated. He constructed a system of ruthless efficiency that devoured his competition. Look further back at Joseph Stalin, born December 18th. While he is a dark figure, biologically, he represents the winter archetype perfectly. A man who ruled not through charisma, but through the terrifying machinery of the state. He didn't want to be loved, he wanted to be obeyed. The shadow strategist is the archetype of the Grand Master. Let's bring this down to your daily reality. If you are in this bracket, you are likely the person who sits at the back of the meeting room, saying nothing for an hour. But while others are talking just to hear their own voices, you are dissecting their arguments. You are playing chess while they are playing checkers. You detest inefficiency. You hate emotional outbursts. To you, emotions are just variables that mess up the equation, but your strength is also your curse. Your psychological trap is isolation. Because you project such a cold, analytical aura. People respect you, but they rarely connect with you. You value the mission over the human. You are the silent CEO who pulls the strings while the Summer King takes the bullets, and while that keeps you safe, it often leaves you standing at the top of the mountain, completely in control, but completely alone. Now, the ice breaks. The world begins to thaw. If you were born in the months of March, April, or May, you belong to the archetype of the visionary architect. Biologically, you were born during the Great Acceleration. Daylight was increasing rapidly during your critical developmental window. This imprinted your nervous system with what psychologists call a hyperthymic temperament, a baseline of high energy, excessive optimism, and a hunger for novelty. You do not seek power through force like the Summer King. You do not seek power through silence like the Winter Strategist. You seek power through influence. History shows us that this is the archetype of the prophet. Look at Sigmund Freud, born May 6th. He did not command an army. He commanded an idea. He rewired how the entire human race thinks about itself using only his words. Look at Karl Marx, born May 5th. He never led a revolution himself, but his vision was so powerful that it toppled empires for a century after his death. And yes, look at the darkest example of all, Adolf Hitler, born April 20th. We are analyzing biology here, not morality. He is the ultimate proof of the spring archetype's terrifying power. The ability to sell a dream or a nightmare so convincingly that millions of people abandon logic to follow you. The visionary architect is the archetype of the cult leader. Let's bring this to your reality. If you are a spring-born, people naturally trust you. You have a gift for selling the dream. You are the friend who convinces the group to take the trip, start the business, or take the risk. You are charming, you are creative, and you are dangerously persuasive, but your supreme weakness is delusion. Because your brain is wired for optimism, you often lack the brakes. You start 1,000 projects and finish 0. You are prone to believing your own hype. The danger for you is that you attract power based on promises, not results. You build castles in the sky, but you often lack the discipline to lay the bricks on the ground. You are the spark that starts the fire, but without the structure of the other seasons, you will simply burn out. Finally, the cycle turns. The harvest begins. If you were born in September, October, or November, you belong to the archetype of the Iron Administrator. Biologically, you were born as the light began to fade, but before the darkness took hold. Your neurochemistry is the most balanced of all the seasons. You do not suffer from the manic highs of summer or the depressive lows of winter. You are the ground. You do not seek power for ego. You do not seek it for survival. You do not seek it for dreams. You seek power for one absolute reason: order. History proves that this is the archetype of the emperor. Look at Vladimir Putin, born October 7th. Regardless of politics, look at the psychology. A man of immense stability who prioritizes the strength of the state above all else. Look at Margaret Thatcher, born October 13th. They called her the Iron Lady for a reason. She did not bend. She did not care if you liked her. She cared if the system worked. Even Confucius, born September 28th, the man who designed the entire social structure of the East, falls here. The Iron Administrator is the archetype of the builder. Let's look at your life. If you are an autumn born, you are likely the rock of your circle. When your spring friends are panicking about a failed project, or your summer friends are screaming for attention, you are the one sitting calmly, fixing the spreadsheet, organizing the logistics, and making sure the bills are paid. You detest chaos. You hate unpredictability. But here is your supreme flaw: rigidity. Because you value order so highly, you often crush innovation. You are the tyrant who refuses to change the rules, even when the game has changed. You are so focused on keeping the walls standing that you often forget to look out the window. You build empires that last for centuries, but you risk becoming a prisoner in your own fortress. We have now mapped your nervous system. We have identified the ghost in your machine. But now, you face the most important choice of your life. The average man will take this information and use it as an excuse. The Summer King will say, "I am arrogant because I was born in July." The Spring Architect will say, "I never finish projects because I am biologically wired for novelty." If you do this, you are not a leader. You are a slave to a calendar. The supreme mindset is not about accepting your nature. It is about conquering it. A king without strategy is just a target. A visionary without order is just a dreamer. To truly ascend to the 9th level of intelligence, you must learn to steal the strengths of the other seasons. If you are winter, you must force yourself into the sunlight. If you are summer, you must learn the silence of the snow. Do not let your birth month be your prison. Let it be your blueprint. Now I want to see the hierarchy in the comments. Do not hide. Comment below. Which archetype are you? The king, the strategist, the architect, or the administrator? And are you a slave to your nature or its master? We break these psychological codes every single week. If you want to remain average, click away. But if you are ready to build a mind that no season can break, click that subscribe button right now. Welcome to the Supreme.